Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I am back to talk more about the Paramount and Warner Brothers situation and all that, because apparently, there's more stuff going on with it. So if you guys haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it if you guys would. If you guys don't want to listen to me talk about that, like this kind of stuff, I do reviews, I do, Let's Plays. As long as YouTube doesn't freaking copyright claim them, then, I do some of those, because I was, showing off one of the games and YouTube copyright claimed it, because their system is broken, but I made a whole video talking about that, so, yeah. But yeah, not very happy about YouTube's bogus with that stuff, but, yeah, but I'm trying to make some videos here, but I am going to be talking about this and all that, so, because I do have some things to say, so we're going to go ahead and just jump right into it. So, as we all know, Paramount and Warner Brothers are planning to merge, and actually, I think, they already have won this battle, but it doesn't mean it won't come up again. In this battle, by this battle, like, people are trying to block the merger, like, they are trying really hard to block it, and all that, because, they don't want Paramount and Warner Brothers merging together and all that. And I'm just like, I don't want a company to merge, but honestly, at this point, I'm like I said before, Hollywood is dead. Like I've said before, they are like trying to survive at this point. It's like the survival games, like they're trying to survive by taking each other out, it's not very good in Hollywood right now, I'm just saying, like, not very good in Hollywood. Hell, it's not really good in a lot of places. The internet, it's fucking terrible on the internet, and all that, we have the AI and all that shit, and then we have, and then we get freaking, they're like censoring everything on the internet and all that, and then we have, even, like, getting jobs at, like, fast food places and all that, it's getting harder because, technology's taking over things. It's not a very good place. It really isn't, and all that. But Hollywood, especially, and the internet is bad. But yeah, Hollywood, definitely. And they've been down this path for a long time. They have been. They've been down this path for a long time, and, it's only gotten worse. So yeah, now the thing is, though, is, the reason why they're possibly trying to block it is because, the Ellisons are big Trump supporters, like, they are, like, friends with, the president and all that, so I'm sure that's probably got a lot to do with it. They're probably also concerned about getting laid off and all that as well, because we saw what happened when Disney bought out 20th Century Fox. We saw that, what happened there. They canceled a bunch of movies in production, they shut Blue Sky down and all that, and basically they're just sitting on a bunch of IP they have absolutely no idea what the hell to do with. It's probably going to be a similar situation with, Warner Brothers, too. It's probably going to be like that. Where with Paramount and all, it's probably going to be the same thing. They're just going to be sitting on a bunch of IP as well. There might be some more things that come out of it, because Warner Brothers did have some very big IP, Fox did, too, but, a lot of their IP was ran into the ground, like, they ran it into the ground, they had some Marvel characters there and all that, but, like, Disney already owned most of Marvel, where Paramount is gonna get, DC and all, meaning they will have access to more stuff, So yeah, that means they could do more with that, but so it won't be as much of a waste of time as the Disney and Fox thing. That said, though, yeah, I think it's still going to be a pretty bad. This is probably going to be a pretty bad thing. But yeah, the fact that people seem to be more concerned about, I noticed, with it being owned by Trump and not really the merger itself is kind of crazy. I mean, there are people that don't want it to happen at all, but it seems like a lot of people want Netflix to get it because, again, Donald Trump and all that, but then we have people who support, Trump and all that. They don't want Netflix getting it. It's basically, politics. It's freaking politics. And it's ridiculous. It's like that on social media, too. It's like, people are like that with Blue Sky and freaking Twitter, and X. It's just like, it's like, I don't care. I'm like, can I just use the platform without political shit getting shoved down my throat, Like, I mean, I don't care if it's on there, but I'm like, there's no need to be fighting back and forth and all that, that's what I mean, like, it's just ridiculous, but yeah, I'm gonna say this, I don't think they're going to be able to get away with this. I think, like I said, I think Paramount and Warner Brothers are definitely, I think the merger is gonna happen. Like, people keep trying to make it not happen, it is. And unfortunately, that's just that's how it's gonna have to be, it really doesn't matter, rather if, Netflix or Warner Brothers gets it. Either way, it would be a disaster. I'm just saying, I mean, yeah, you could say Paramount and Warner Brothers having partially, being owned by a whole nother country, even though I'm pretty sure the, tariffs, remember Trump and the tariffs, I'm pretty sure, those were kind of cut. We're supposed to be we're trying to cut costs from, other countries and stuff, and then we got a freaking studio over here trying to do that, so the fact that they're improving that, is kind of crazy, but like I said, it's just kind of how it is, but yeah, I definitely don't think that's a good idea. I think it's gonna be a bad idea to have another country. I mean, they're not gonna own, a ton of the franchise, but they're gonna own, they're gonna own, I think, 30-something%, which is still a lot, of the company. And then we gotta remember, when they merge together, yeah, that's gonna be a pretty big thing. So I don't know how that's gonna work, that, are they gonna have, people, from those countries coming over here and making stuff? Or are they gonna make movies over there, I mean, I don't know. The thing is, the Saudis are reportedly, very strict with rules. Kind of like China, they're very strict with rules on, what you can and can't do. So I don't really know how that's gonna work, but I'm just saying, it is kind of crazy to have that. I mean, if Netflix bought that, we probably wouldn't be having that, but Netflix would probably be making a lot of cuts, too, because, they would be spending, even $80 billion, was a lot of money. I don't remember exactly how much it was, but it was 80-something billion they were originally charging for, So, having, Paramount and, not Paramount, I mean, having, Netflix buy, Warner Brothers for, that much is very crazy. It's very, very crazy to see that, but yeah, I don't know, but the thing is, though, I said Netflix did buy it, as I said, they would be spending a lot of money, and then, we probably would be getting, we would get some shows and all that, but I think we would be getting, less episodes and all, because Netflix, on Netflix, they tend to, a lot of shows don't get a lot of episodes. We've seen content like that before, I mean, some of them, were not made by Netflix, they were licensed by them, but, I'm just saying, I'm just saying, they don't really make a lot of episodes on, there. So, yeah, it's just kind of, I mean, there's like Johnny Test and all that. I mean, it's another show. It's actually not, I've looked it up. I don't think Warner Brothers actually owns Johnny Test, so I guess Johnny Test will still remain on Netflix. Which is crazy because Johnny Test has been on Netflix for a long time. I don't remember when they started putting Johnny Test on Netflix. I do remember the show was still going on at the time, when they put it on there. So, I think it got canceled in like 2013 or 2014. So, the fact that Johnny Test has been on Netflix for that long is crazy. Even though they don't own the show, that's actually crazy. But they had that reboot and all that, which, by the way, did fix a lot of the problems the original one was running into down the road, but, like the whip cracks and stuff, but it only lasted like 2 seasons, and that's it. It didn't really last that long. And that's kind of the problem, like, if you're making content and stuff, you want it to last a while, and that's kind of the thing. But yeah, this is definitely going to be, like I said, this is going to be kind of crazy to see it, go to, like I said, Paramount and all that. But also, another thing I could say too, with Paramount getting it, though, there will also be, the channels might remain too. Yeah, the channels we have, like we have like Cartoon Network and all that, and they might end up remaining on there. I don't know if they'll probably eventually try to cut the cable stuff entirely and focus on streaming, but, which we can see is not really working well for Hollywood, but they're not going to admit it. They're just going to keep doing it, but yeah, they'll probably still, they'll have the channels where, like, Netflix would definitely, like, get rid of it. Netflix would, like, get rid of all of that. So, like, they would pretty much just put it all on, their platform, There's also reports that, speaking of Netflix, there's, reports that, that Netflix is, now this, I don't know if it's been confirmed yet, but there's been, reports, that, Netflix, might be trying to, like, fight with them again and all that, and I'm just like, you guys bailed out of the bid, it'd be one thing, like I said, it'd be one thing if they were still in the bidding thing, and they could probably, like, sue freaking, Paramount, for trying to, like, they could sue them, for, like, trying to, like, like, interfere with the bidding war and all that, and trying to, like, because they went and they did a hostile takeover. That's what they did. They basically were trying to make all this bullshit stuff up about why Netflix is a bad thing, and the reasonings didn't make sense, like saying, like, Netflix would be an antitrust thing and all that, and, a lot of people were saying that, and I'm like, look at this, like, Disney, like, look how big freaking Disney is. They bought out Fox, they own Lucasfilm, Marvel, Pixar, and all of that, and much more, and they even bought out Hulu, and apparently they're okay, it's okay for them to, do that, but if Netflix does it, then apparently, it's not okay, it's just not okay, and that doesn't make sense. Yeah, I think that would make Netflix, a bigger target for, in the, streaming industry, but the streaming industry is freaking collapsing, so, I don't know, I'm like, I feel like maybe putting your crap back on Netflix would make more sense, I don't know. But I think Netflix, though, also, like, licensing their stuff out, or having other people do it to them, made more sense. But that's probably the thing too. They don't got a ton of content on their platform, compared to these other places, So I mean, there's not really much of a reason to have Netflix, which is probably why they wanted to buy Warner Brothers, because they could do that. But if I were Netflix, I would be like, you know what? Just screw it. Just let freaking Paramount. Let Paramount freaking buy Warner Brothers. Let them buy it. We'll buy something else, Not saying I really want everything to be just stuck on Netflix because, streaming crap and all. Like, I want to actually own the shit. I'm just saying, it would be a lot easier, than doing all this. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying. But I was gonna say too. I was gonna talk about the channels too as well, cause I'm not gonna lie to you guys too. Yeah, Paramount, Paramount getting the channels and all that, and then it probably saving the channels from getting immediately shut down is. It's nice and all with the physical media and all, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The channels also, by the way, I mentioned like Cartoon Network and Adult Swim and all. Like they'll have all of those channels. They're kind of dead. Like they're dead. I mean, hell, I'm like freaking Cartoon Network. All they fucking air anymore is Teen Titans Go. And I know some people like the show and all that, which I'm nothing against people. I just don't see why people like the show so much. Like, I'm just saying, like, I mean, again, people can have their own opinion, but I fucking loathe that show. That show is so bad. Like, it's an insult, not just to the original show, but, entirely. And I hate how they constantly, like, make fun of people who watch the original and say, like, the only reason why they like the original show is because, it was serious. That the Teen Titans Go is not serious enough, And I mean, that's true, but, the thing is, though, is it's not just that, it was, it had goofy episodes in it, but it had likable characters. They weren't insulting, the viewers, And I mean, cartoons make fun of themselves all the time, but the way they do it, it's like they're literally, shitting on people who hate the show. It feels totally different, And the problem is that's kind of what killed, Cartoon Network, And I mean, yeah, they have some other content coming out here and there. I mean, Steven Universe, had a few had like a revival and all, and a movie and all that. But it doesn't feel like they're getting a lot of, good shows. Even Nickelodeon, despite, them constantly airing SpongeBob in the Loud House, they were still getting some, content, that people have talked about. Like, I don't feel like a lot of people talk about the other stuff on Cartoon Network. Like, KAO and all that, And, I mean, they had a lot of reboots, like, besides Teen Titans, because they had, like, the Ben 10 reboot, like, they rebooted that show, that thing, like, a few times, but, like, they had, like, one reboot, I think in 2018, was it 2016 or 2018? No, I think the Powerpuff Girls was 2016, which was hated. No, it's it's Ben 10, I think that was a 2018 show. People hated the show and all that. I remember liking it, but it's been a while, but I thought I remember liking it, but hating the animation style. The animation style looks ugly, but I thought I remember liking it, but maybe I'm remembering wrong. But yeah, they basically just don't air a lot of shit on the platform though, really, at all. And I mean, yeah, they have shows coming out, but it's like, it goes to Boomerang. And my god, Boomerang is fucking terrible now. Like, I'm actually gonna make a video down the road talking about Boomerang, because I did one of, like, I think Noggin and Playhouse Disney. Oh yeah, those were good too. But I'll show you guys what I'm talking about with Boomerang here. See, this is what Boomerang used to be like. See, it had this iconic logo and all that. Yeah, it had this iconic logo and all that, and then you had, and then not only you had the iconic logo, but like the bumpers and all that. Oh my god, it was really good. It had like a bunch of Hanna-Barbera cartoons on it. I mean, it had other stuff too, like shows that have ended, like, and all, but it was mostly stuff that was canceled. It was like, let's say like Disney XD or Toon Disney, as I think it was once called, and Nicktoons, you know, of Warner Brothers. This was Warner Brothers Nicktoons / Disney XD or Toon Disney, you know. But yeah, see, this is what it looks like now. It doesn't even look like a freaking Boomerang anymore. It looks like a freaking box. Like, why does it look like that? Like, it looks freaking terrible. Like, you went from like this, which it looks like an actual Boomerang, to a box. I mean, at this point, you know, it might as well be gone. And then you had, like, Playhouse Disney here. Yeah, see you got Playhouse Disney with all the colors. This is what it looks like now. It's now, Disney Junior. Although, that's actually outdated. Because now it's, now they actually shortened the name. But they added, like, I mean, I don't like that they shortened the Disney Junior logo, but I do like that they actually, made it look more like, sparkly. They gave it like a sparkly look. It's kind of hard to kind of describe. There, like that. That's what I'm talking about. See, like that. And then you have like Noggin here. Here's a better picture of it here. Yeah, we had these characters. Yeah, I made a video talking about that already. I don't know if I talked a lot about Noggin itself or this. Now Nick Jr. was a thing too before Noggin. I don't remember if it ever got rebranded or if Noggin was like a different, time of day or different part of Nick Jr., but they had like the same shows and all that, so I don't know, but I think they aired they aired like new stuff too, but they aired like a lot of reruns too, kind of like typical channels. But yeah, all those channels, all of those are like gone now. Like Playhouse Disney and Noggin. Oh, Noggin is they brought it back, but I haven't really checked it out. But from what I've heard, beforehand, it wasn't really the same. And I don't know if they'll keep it the same afterwards. But yeah, they shortened the name down. They got rid of the iconic head and all that, and they made it more simple. And then freaking Playhouse Disney and all that it's all gone, and same with Boomerang. It's just not the same anymore. Hell, that's the whole reason why, having cable was so nice for a while there, even when streaming was getting big. But Boomerang was actually one of the last channels to get changed. Yeah, it was one of the last ones they changed. I think, Sprout was too, which is another channel, but, like, I'm not gonna show all that off, because that would just, like, take forever, but Sprout was another one. They turned it into Universal Kids, and then Universal Kids got shut down, I think, a couple years ago, I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was in 2024 they shut it down. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. But my point is freaking streaming killed that stuff. But that's the thing. It's like you can't fucking enjoy anything anymore. You can't go out and eat somewhere nice, because all these fucking, corporations and these CEOs, like, make everything, dull and boring and charge you a lot of money, and run brands into the ground, and then you got, like, stores doing that too and all that, and it's like you can't even enjoy, anything anymore, that's the thing, and that's kind of where I'm, like, at with this. I'm like, I don't know, I don't think anything is going to really change. Like, we might get some stuff, like, I heard, like, they're talking about fixing Star Trek, because people have had problems with the Star Trek, reboot, which I haven't even seen Star Trek, so I can't really tell you. I mean, I've seen the original movie, well, not the original, original trilogy. I've seen the second one, with my, like, I seen that one, but, I was watching it with my dad and all that, because he was showing me it, and I was like, I remember it being kind of slow, but maybe it wasn't my thing, but, I don't know enough about Star Trek, really, to kind of, say anything. I do know, there was also Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart's one of his famous, roles was from the new generation of Star Trek. I mean, he also plays a character on American Dad, too, which is famous, but he's mainly known for, the Star Trek, movies. He's mainly known for that. Like, people kind of know him from there. And then when the Emoji Movie came out, he was known as the poop emoji, which was gross, but, I mean, but, he wasn't really, like, he was talked about a lot when that movie came out, because the reviews were really bad on that, but he was mainly known for the next generation of Star Trek, which people were kind of split on, because I don't think they said it wasn't the same as the old stuff, like, it felt kind of different. It was kind of like, I think, kind of like the prequels, maybe, of Star Wars, maybe kind of like that, where, like, maybe it was different. Because Star Wars I do know about, so I can say more about that, but the thing is, though, if they're trying to fix that, I guess that's a good sign, but I don't think they're going to do anything else. Like, people are kind of concerned about, like, I think political crap, because, one side wants, this, and one side doesn't. Like, it's, like, when it comes to content, like, I've talked about the, crap before, like, the race swapping and all of that, but honestly, I like I said, I don't even think they care. I think they just want the damn IP, I mean, they really showed it here, when they were trying to, like, freaking take a hostile takeover, on freaking, Warner Brothers and all that, but, I mean, I probably wouldn't even mind, like, taking a hostile takeover, like that, like they were trying to do all that shit. Technically, it was kind of illegal there, they were kind of doing illegal shit there, by, like, trying to, like, accuse freaking Netflix and all that with shit, like, trying to compare them to a monopoly and all that, and taking them to court and shit like that, even though they also have, like, TikTok and all that, and they're also, gonna get, like, CNN. I mean, they'll probably have to either sell it or shut it down, but honestly, at this point, who the hell even watches the freaking, the freaking news anymore, who even watches the news much anymore with this stuff, I think, like, people are kind of just, people don't really watch it a lot anymore, we got podcasts and stuff now, it's like, it's just not like it was, sure, it was kind of nice, when you had, like, cable to watch it and all that, but, like, but now it's just, like, it's just very political and all that, and all that, I'm just saying, and I mean, the thing is, though, they kind of done it to themselves, too, a lot of this shit, like, they're complaining about all this happening. I'm like, you guys were, censoring people on social media and all that, and that's the thing, that's the thing, they try to make it look like it. I'm not defending, Trump or anything. I think Trump's got a lot of problems, like, I don't like him. I also don't like I didn't like Biden either. I didn't like him either. All this political shit, like people going back and forth with that. I'm just like I'm on the middle. Like I don't really like either. I see the flaws, but my thing is though is censoring people and blocking shit, because they did a lot of that during the fucking election. They would literally hide people's comments. Like you weren't allowed to say anything bad about Biden, but you could say bad things about Trump. And I think that right there is exactly why I think people voted for him, because they didn't want to deal with that shit, That, and they probably could just get him out too, because he can only run twice, unless they try to pass something, but even if they do, the guy's like 80 years old now, like 80, maybe 81. I don't know. He's up there in age. He can't be doing that forever, So he'd have to step down, and I've seen people kind of concerned about that, but I'm just telling you, like the guy's up there in age. There's no way he can't be running multiple times, I'm just saying, and that's kind of the thing, But yeah, I'm just saying, like, that's the thing. Don't lie. If you lie, bad things could happen. And yeah, I'm just saying. But that's kind of like I said with the Ellisons and and all with freaking with Warner Brothers here. They were trying to do that shit with Netflix, trying to like make them look bad and all that when them trying to have a whole nother country, taking over, it's just kind of crazy, but I don't know. I'm not gonna go too much into that. I will say though, yeah, I still think it's stupid that they're spending $111 billion on this shit though, and that's the thing. That's why they're having the Saudis help them out with that, So which is crazy. Again, like I said, having another country having to help you pay for something is definitely ridiculous. But the thing is, though, is yeah, they are way overspending on this too and all that. And yeah, they'll be getting more shit probably than Disney got with Fox, but Disney's overspent on Fox as it is for like 70-something billion, And they're not really making a lot of their IP back, and we're seeing it. Hell, the CEO even pointed that out at one point. Not the new one, but Bob Iger, even though he immediately turned around and all that, but he does that. He'll turn himself around and all that, just to make him, make himself, look good and all that, but that's what a lot of these CEOs do. They do this shit all the time. But, yeah, I think this is probably going to end up being a bad thing, but like I said, I don't think it's gonna matter no matter what, who gets it. Like I've told you guys, I was actually on their side of them buying it before. But then, the fact that they're trying to, overspend on it, and all, it's just kind of the thing, but then we have Netflix and all that too, so we really didn't have much of a good option here, and you could say, like, Netflix wouldn't have been owned by another country, but, which is true, but also the IP probably wouldn't be as good either, so, like I said, it's basically, a win or, well, not a win or lose, it's a lose-lose situation. No matter what, people are gonna lose here, And the thing is, too, if you think about it, too, a lot of the shit that they're acquiring is going to go into public domain soon, too. So, yeah, I don't know if I brought that up in the past or not, but yeah, like, Batman and Robin, actually, I don't remember if Robin, I don't know if, I don't know my DC very well, I don't know Marvel very well, but was curious and looked it up, and, yeah, Batman, the first comics, and all that, came out in 1939, and same with Superman. Superman was the same way. I did not look up about Robin, so I don't know about that, but But the fact that they're, now going into public domain, though, they'll be going into public domain here soon, is crazy. Because that's the thing, they could be spending all this money and all that, and, I mean, these corporations could try to, like, keep that from happening, but, like, with the public domain stuff, or try to push it back or something like that, like Disney was doing with Mickey Mouse. But the internet's out, people are aware of this shit, and I don't think they're gonna get away with it like they once did, so. But I still don't know the public domain thing exactly, like, I don't know exactly, like, well, I mean, I know how it works, like, you can literally use any of the characters. So let's say, like, if I want to use, like down the road, like, when Star Wars goes into public domain, I could literally use any of those characters in stuff like that, and, like, and I would be able to get away with it because, I own it, but, like, I don't really know, like, what the difference is between that and people using the stuff, because there is no way, like, people get permission all the time to use stuff. I mean, like South Park, like, there is no way that freaking South Park would have been able to use the freaking Mickey Mouse thing, because that is, like, freaking brutal. Now, I have seen, like, pieces of South Park here and there, but I remember Mickey Mouse, oh my god, he was a fucking savage. He was funny, but he was a funny villain, but my god, he was a savage. I also remember that whole Kmart bit, too, with, like, Cartman, talking about, like, I can get this at Kmart, because he was talking about a lightsaber and all that, that was pretty funny, but, and really outdated, but yeah, but the fact that, they had that, yeah, Disney would not be okay with that, so clearly there must be some sort of thing, like, where you could still use the characters as parodies or something like that. I don't know how it works, but yeah, a lot of these characters, like, in public domain, that are going to public domain and all, like, I don't know what the difference is between it, but I just know it's gonna happen soon. Even Looney Tunes and all, I think a lot of the characters are now in public domain. I think they are, I'm pretty sure they are. Actually, I don't remember when they got into public domain, but because Warner Brothers came out the same year as Disney, but I don't remember like when they started making Looney Tune characters, but that is crazy that we're getting, to the point where we're gonna start having that soon. So that's what I'm just saying, like, they're gonna spend all this money on this shit, and then eventually people could just make their own stuff with a lot of this. Now, obviously, the recent stuff they can't really do with, but a lot of the recent shit hasn't been really that good anyway, so I mean, Steven Universe, I know a lot of people don't like that show, but I actually don't mind it. That was actually a pretty nice show. There is like one thing though I kind of like would have really liked in the show, but I won't spoil it. But it's a pretty big plot twist involving Steven. But I kind of wish they would have like would have had the guts to kind of do all that with him and all that. But they didn't really do it and all. I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but. But, yeah, I'm just saying, it's a pretty, I talked about it in my review, but yeah, I don't know, but like I said, like, with, Scooby-Doo and all that as well, I'm like, what else is there really for them to do? I mean, Scooby-Doo at this point is, like, I don't think they even know what to do with Scooby-Doo. I mean, Scooby-Doo at this point, they've kind of gone down pretty much every path. I mean, they could still make an adult show, just not like Velma, They could do that. I mean, and then they have a live-action one coming out, but the live-action ones have been the movies themselves were kind of hit or miss. I mean, hell, the third and fourth one, they couldn't even get Fred to have freaking blonde hair. They didn't give him blonde hair. He just has black hair, and according to that, what I saw, it's the writer, or the the actor who played him didn't want to wear a wig or, like, dye his hair or something like that. But I'm like, if you don't want to dye your hair, then why the hell are you playing Fred, you know? Because Fred's a blonde. He's not a black-haired kid. He's blonde. I shouldn't even say kid, like a teenager, or in some cases, sometimes they can be adults, too. Like in Cyber Chase, they're revealed that they're out of high school. But I'm just saying, you know, like, that's kind of stupid. But yeah, I'm just like, I don't know what they'll do there. But I mean, they're also making an animated show too, which both are in the works. But I'm just like I said, at this point, I'm like, what else is there really for them to do with Scooby-Doo? You know, they've kind of gone, you know, they've done wrestling ones and all. I mean, I guess they could do more crossover ones. They've done some of that before. But I'd like for them to just reboot the original shows and bring back, like, the old soundtrack. That'd be really cool for Scooby-Doo, you know? You know, I'm just saying, but I don't know. But that's something they'll probably definitely do with Paramount, because Scooby-Doo is a very popular franchise. If they didn't do that, that'd be stupid, but I don't know. But yeah, I definitely think there's going to be cuts. Like, I think because they're spending so much money on this shit, they're probably going to cut stuff too. Like, they're probably going to end up cutting stuff. But, yeah, they're going to end up, like, you know, Paramount's going to end up, cutting a bunch of, you know, stuff. I think they're kind of doing that with Nickelodeon a bit, like, by moving it into another platform a bit, which I'm just like, I don't know why they would want to do it, because Nickelodeon is probably the most valuable thing of Paramount that there is. Even if it's not as good as it used to be, Nickelodeon it has a lot of, you know, history with shows and all that. A lot of them I kind of wish they could come back. Like, especially, like, shows like Danny Phantom, which the creator kind of ran the show into the ground. He kind of screwed it up a bit. Yeah, I don't even like Butch Hartman. Freaking Butch Hartman's kind of a... I don't know, he likes to pat himself on the back a lot, and he's kind of a smart ass, but, yeah, trust me, like, I know, he even made a freaking reaction video to people quoting on his characters, and he's like, oh, he has that fucking, like, smirk on his face, and he looks at the review, or the viewers, like, all sarcastically. Like, God, I do not like him. I like his content, like, with older stuff, that is. I don't really like him. He's not a great person. Like, he's not, like, Dan Strider bad, but he's not, like, good either. You know, he's got problems, but I don't know. But I'm probably going to go ahead and let the video go, because I don't really have a lot else to add to this, but, yeah, I definitely think the drama is going to continue, and yeah, I will say, I think we're probably going to, I think this is definitely going to merge. I think we're going to see a lot of cuts. I mean, either way, there will be cuts, because, I mean, Netflix, I mean, they got a lot of money, too, but I think, like, you know, they don't have as much money as the Ellisons, but the Ellisons even don't have that much money to be spending, you know, on the shit. You know? So, yeah, I mean, like I said, they're borrowing from another country and all that. Just tells you how stupid this is, but I don't know, but that's Hollywood for you, but, yeah, I'm gonna probably end up letting the video go, though, but, yeah, there probably won't be, like I said, there's gonna be a lot of people that probably won't work, like, they're probably not gonna work with them, because, again, of supporting, you know, Trump and all, which, in my opinion, I'm like, I don't think it should matter who you support, if you're a Republican or a Democrat, as long as your boss is nice, you know, but, I mean, with the way they did some of this stuff here, yeah, I can kind of see why people are mad, but also, I'm like, you know, I don't know, I'm just like, You know, it got Netflix raising prices too and all that. Like I said, it's a disaster. This whole thing is a disaster, but we'll see what the future has to hold. But, yeah, I'm like I said, I'm not really looking forward to this, but I mean, at this point, I'm like, I guess we'll see what Warner Brothers has for the future. Even though, like I said, in the past, I think I kind of rather have them just, I don't know, like, maybe put a knife in them, and maybe they could have got shut down and put them out of their misery. But I mean, I guess some of the content can at least live on now. So I mean, the content they still have, but I don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead and let the video go, and I'll see you guys all later. Bye bye.